Welcome to this very special episode of the Startup Show. Today I have the big pleasure to welcome onto my show the organizers of the Start Summit of the University of St. Gallen, Simon and Luca. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cédric, for having us here. Thank you for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to the talk.
So welcome back to a new episode of the Startup Show. As just said, I'm very excited to welcome you onto the show, organizers of one of the biggest startup events here in Switzerland, organized by students. So before we get into what exactly the Start Summit is, let's quickly hear who you guys are.
Yeah, I'm Simon. I'm studying law and economics in the 5th semester. Actually, a really important topic in entrepreneurship as well. I'm engaged at Start Global since 3 years, and this is a very unique experience I face here. So it's cool to be part of the University of St. Gallen on one hand side, and then the other hand side, organizing such a big event and activities and leading a team. This is a great experience I can live here during my studies.
For sure, for sure. Well, what about you? Tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, well, my name is Luca, and well, I'm studying as well at the University of St. Gallen now in my master's, accounting and finance.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, sounds familiar, right? So far, I have been with Start for now 4 years, and 4 years ago, I participated in Start Summit, and now I'm one of the organizers, so it's pretty cool to see how it's developed and evolved.
One of the things that I would like to hear from you guys is, we're standing, and me included, at the edge of deciding where we want to go to work. Are we looking for corporate jobs, UBS, Credit Suisse, or Ernst & Young, or something like this? Or is it more attractive for you guys to go to a startup? What's in your head for when you're done with your school?
For myself, I personally, I'm looking for an entrepreneurial career for my side. So I'm really looking into going into my own business, or probably just starting with an internship in a startup. What I could tell is that at the University of St. Gallen, there is a lot of people who face different career paths, or who strive for different career paths, such as consulting, banking, the big corporates you named.
Yeah.
But there is something changing at the moment as well in terms of corporate innovation and intrapreneurship. This is quite one of these buzzwords. A lot of corporates are buzzing during these days, just to tell hey guys, we need entrepreneurial minds in our organizations. So it's pretty much moving forward, they say, the corporates. But for myself, my vision is
entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Very nice. What about you?
Right now I'm working besides, well, not during my time here at Start Summit, but normally I work besides my studying time at the University of St. Gallen, and I'm with a corporate. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty hard for me to say now I'm not into corporate as well, but of course I think being independent, being your own boss and having your own idea and just strive for execute your idea as well. I think that's something I really look forward, and I as well, like Simon, we are, I think, some people or students who are actually pretty much involved with entrepreneurship, and so I think the interest for starting your own career in entrepreneurship is for sure here. So
let's get into the Start Summit. Let's talk a little bit about this event. Give me some number crunching. Tell me about last year's event, and I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, so I think about last year's event, I can pretty much sum up a great success. So we've been moving to Olma-Messen, which is the big congress center in St. Gallen. And obviously, this is something we had to really decide in a strategic way, because to fill a congress center with 1,200 people was quite risky in terms of, we had in 2015 400 participants or 500 participants at the University of St. Gallen on the campus. That's why we had a risky time, a good and hard time. But in the end, we had about 270 startups there. Mm-hmm. We had about 100 or 80 to 100 investors, which were there networking, closing deals. So we've got a good amount of startups who closed their deals after Start Summit 2016, mm-hmm. named Gamaya, who had a Series A round of 3.2 million closed after Start Summit and winning our pitching competition, which was quite a good testimonial for our work during the whole year last year. And for this year's event, Luca can pretty much tell
Sure.
about more.
I'm trying to. No, Start Summit this year is taking place 24th, 25th of March. So in 1.5 months, it's taking place as well again in Olma and St. Gallen. We are happy to announce that we will gather around 800 students, again from top leading universities. I mean, especially in St. Gallen, we have a really great connection to ETH Zurich, EPFL Lausanne, then of course TU Munich. As well, we have great chapters all around Europe, especially Warsaw, Berlin, Munich again. We are happy to have like great entrepreneurial minds as well at Start Summit, which could be as well pretty interesting for the startups, which we have around 300 again. We are striving for 150 investors and of course corporates and media as well.
Yeah, for sure. Tell me, so some name dropping for this upcoming summit?
We've got a cool lineup of startups.
Yeah.
Actually, there will be Biowatch, Matthias Vanoni, who will pitch the idea and talk to the audience. We'll have Confilight, which is obviously a HSG startup.
Yeah.
And we have also number 26, which is obviously the first HSG unicorn and one of the most successful startups.
In banking.
Yeah,
right?
banking. So
sure.
building their own online bank was pretty much high risk as well. And this is what I call a real entrepreneur.
For sure. If I remember correctly, also Lemonade you're bringing to Zurich, which is very exciting. Bring some Israeli startups to Zurich. And tell me about some investors. So for all the startups that are watching, what kind of investors can they meet?
Yeah, so what we have in our jury of Start Summit here, we have the Swiss ecosystem, which means we have venturelab, we have Swiss Startup Factory, we have Swiss VCs such as B2V Ventures, which is very close to Start. Obviously, B2V Venture is some kind of our spin-off because Florian Schweitzer...
He was one of the founders of Start, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yes. He has been founded Start and Start Summit in 1996 and afterwards just spinned off B2V Ventures, which is one of the most successful, when not the most successful VC fund here in Switzerland and also internationally.
So tell me, we briefly discussed before a little bit about the challenges of organizing an event around startups and investors. Maybe, from your experience that you have gained now over the last few months, what would you say is, let's say, the best approach to get to the startups to come to your event?
Well, probably it's just to get to know them, to get in touch with them, and as well to go beyond just being like selling Start Summits, but really being interested in their product, as we have in Switzerland great startups as well in the whole European ecosystem. And I think we just need to give them a platform where they can express their ideas and meet the people they need to really launch their startup and to really have success in their entrepreneurial career.
But I assume it's probably hard to get money directly, like cash upfront from startups before you show them value. So I assume that's probably one of the things that's very hard to explain them why they should come to your event and not to any other event. Is that something that you also experienced?
Yes, sure. Actually, startups are always very low cost. We know that, but
by definition.
Also by definition. But what we know as well is the time consuming of 2 days attending an event, being there. That's why we created now our innovation village, which is actually a co-working space at the event itself. So startups can just attend and work there and go to meetings with investors during the event, just like casually. And in the other time, they can just work and be productive during the event. This is the most important thing. 2 days at the conference sometimes is a bit too much. It's Friday, Saturday, so most entrepreneurs also want to have a weekend, enjoy family. So this is an important value as well for them and for all startups and for us.
To wrap up this episode, I would like to know a little bit about, now you're organizing this event. You see probably a lot of startups. You have let's say, call it a very big deal flow of startups that come through you. Where do you see like some big advantages we have here in Switzerland in terms of startups? Where do you see which industries are leading? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think we have several industries which are quite good. So first of all, of course, with Zurich in the heart of Europe, we have a very strong financial services, and as well with a Bitcoin blockchain, pretty strong in Zug. So we have
Zug
Valley, people there working really hard to make their dream happen. And of course, as well with Roche Novartis in Basel, we have very strong corporate partners in medtech, digital health, etc.
Pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceuticals, right. Exactly. So
Absolutely.
Pharmaceuticals, we are as well pretty strong, I assume. AI, AR, VR as well. Like most people or some people as well, they might consider moving to Berlin. Right. But I think we have a great ecosystem, we have a great stability, which is very important for startups. As well as I said or mentioned it before, we have great talents here in Zurich or in Switzerland. So that's something that we are really should be proud of. And that's something that the startups can look for in Switzerland.
Right, absolutely. I mean, we see it by Google's move recently opening a huge new office here in Zurich, which is really cool. Well, what about give a final statement about your experience and what you see coming, let's say, from Switzerland in the next few years?
I really see some really high-tech startups coming up from ETH Zurich and EPFL, all these student innovation projects. So I know that ETH Zurich is very much moving forward and straight on with these projects. Then what I really looking forward is the connection between business and tech. So University of St. Gallen is doing a lot in terms of entrepreneurship. And when we are able to connect these two disciplines, then we are going to be very successful. So we want to connect the students together. So that's why we also have a hackathon just 1 week before the Start Summit. We want to really bring a lot of technical students, computer engineers, computer scientists, any kind of technical students, and we want to enable them, business students and tech students, to really connect these two disciplines to create innovation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely one of the advantages of the university in general and universities of St. Gallen specifically, the network that we have there. Guys, thank you very much for coming onto the show. I highly appreciate it for taking the time to come here. Thank you very much for watching this episode with the organizers of the Start Summit, and see you soon with another episode. Have a good day, everybody.